Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Rainbow Six Siege video. In this video, we're going to be discussing the hot topic within the Siege community, reused weapons. I'll just be going over what I think, the pros and cons, and hopefully we can get a discussion going in the comments down below. But before we continue with the video, please take a second to like the video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out and I really appreciate it. Plus, you'll always have some Siege videos to watch. It's a win-win. So why not just click that sub button, click that notification bell, do all that stuff. Now let's begin. At this point, we all know about how Ubisoft is reusing a ton of weapons this year. Operation Phantom Sight, both Warden and Nook have reused weapons. Now in Operation Ember, Goyo and Amaru are once again using reused weapons. This obviously has a ton of people upset. For several years, we've grown used to each new operator coming with brand new weapons, like at least one that we could play around with and have fun with, experiment with, just new weapons, But is that really a bad thing? As with everything that happens with Siege, there are some good things about reused weapons and some bad things. Now let's start on a high note and start with the pros. The only ones I could really think of are that we don't have to learn new recoil patterns and we can use some of our weapon skins. When an operator reuses a weapon, most of us will already have some sort of idea of what the weapon recoil is going to be since it's already in the game already. Now this means we can focus more on learning the nuances of a new operator's abilities. Plus, we'll be more prepared to jump into ranked with the new operators. Then we have reused weapon skins. So if you have that black eye skin with one of the reused weapons, you can flaunt it around with the brand new operators. Other than that, I can't really find any more good things. But before we talk about the obvious cons to having no new weapons, I want to go over why no new weapons shouldn't be as big of a deal as some people are making it out to be. Now don't get me wrong, I think we should have brand new weapons and it's kind of annoying when we don't get them, but it's not the end of the world and Siege isn't going to die. Most weapons in Siege are very, very similar. For example, if we take a look at the SMGs, most SMGs fall into two categories: high damage slow fire rate or low damage fast fire rate. For example, Cav's M12 does 36 damage with a fire rate of 550, while Mira's Vector does 21 damage with a fire rate of 1200. There isn't going to be like an infinite amount of times they can do this. Like, it's only a finite amount until all SMGs are pretty close to each other. So to keep adding in more and more weapons, and more of them have a higher chance of just being reskins of other weapons. Weapons in their class are a lot more similar to each other than most people think. I think there could be definitely more weapons added before things get too similar, but I can understand why Ubisoft doesn't want to crowd their game with a bunch of weapons that feel and are statistically very close. Now to the cons of why I think a ton of people are upset about having no new weapons. It takes away a lot of the excitement from the new operators. I remember in the earlier years of Siege, most people were more excited about the cool new weapon that operators would come with rather than their ability. It was exciting, picking a new operator and seeing a new gun, testing how it feels and comparing it to the other weapons in its class. Now all that excitement is gone. We just have to reuse the same weapons that we already know how they look, feel, and act and have been in the game for quite some time. Other than that, I think it takes away some of the specialization that comes with learning a weapon. I remember a while ago, if you could control Buck C8, like if you could control the recoil, you were damn proud of it. This is of course before the recoil buffs, but my point still stands. Learning a new weapon and being a god with it was exciting and gave you a sense of pride. Also, it presented a few interesting gameplay choices. For example, do you pick smoke because you can take off heads with the FMG9, or do you flex pick so your team has someone that can deny gadgets? Now you really don't have these choices. Like if you're good with the Vector, you can pick Mira to support your team, or you can pick Goyo to set up traps. Now I guess you could see this as a good or bad thing, but personally I feel like the sense of specialization is more important. What do you think? Leave me a comment down below. And now that we have gone, over the pros and cons, I want to take a second to share a theory. A Siege theory. Alright, that was kind of cringy, but I saw the opportunity for a joke, so I took it. Either way, I was thinking about reasons why we aren't getting new weapons. Now, this was before I looked at all the weapon stats to refresh my memory before I was like, oh, it's probably because, weapons are close together. Like, what if we aren't getting new weapons because man hours were pushed over to the Battle Pass? I know it sounds crazy, but, hear me out. Hear me out for a second. The Battle Pass has to be filled with cool stuff. Cool skins, or else people aren't going to buy it. Who would buy a Battle Pass with lame stuff? No one. So what if they push people over to make weapon skins and uniforms and headgears instead of working on new weapons? Now, do I think this is the case? Absolutely not. I assume that they have the art department or the art people working on the cosmetics because, that makes more sense, while the gameplay people are working on the gameplay, like weapons, operators, all that stuff. I just thought this was an interesting thought, and I thought I might as well share it. Now let me know what you think of my theory down below. I know it's dumb, but at least give me some kind of feedback. Anyways, let's get to my opinion. I think it sucks that we aren't getting new weapons. It takes away a ton of excitement from the new operators. But with that being said, I can also see why Ubisoft isn't adding new weapons. I understand, but it still really sucks. And that's going to be it for this video. I want to hear from you all. Do you like having new weapons? Do you think it sucks we aren't getting any? And if you could add in any weapon into Siege, like from any game, as long as it's, sort of realistic, what would it be? I don't know, so let me know down in the comments below. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more amazing Rainbow Six Siege content. I'm the Battle Moon, and I will see you in the next Siege.